Teams are resuming their search at first light for a plane in the North Shore backcountry this morning in what's still being called a rescue operation. Carson Air Flight 66 disappeared shortly after taking off from Vancouver International Airport yesterday morning. The twin-engine cargo plane, like this one on a previous flight, was headed for Prince George with 2 pilots on board. It went off of radar about 5 kilometers north of Mount Seymour. Debris from the plane was eventually spotted just before 6 o'clock last night.
This case is still in its infancy, and as you can well imagine, it is an extremely remote area. On top of that, it's recently snowed up there, so a lot of the debris is covered in snow, which makes it extremely dangerous for our searchers because they don't know what they're stepping on.
A specialized team of RCMP officers was called in, but they never ended up hiking into the area. With the dangerous terrain, the search was called off last night. This operation is particularly difficult with the plane being white and the backcountry full of snow. RCMP in Surrey are investigating another drive-by shooting this morning. Neighbors reported hearing shots fired near 149A Street and 69A Avenue late last night. It's believed 2 cars were firing shots at each other, with one of them crashing into a parked SUV. 2 men were seen running from the area. Officers also reportedly responded to shots fired at a vehicle early this morning near 93rd Avenue and 153rd Street. With spring here and summer in the not-too-distant future, we've had an unfortunate reminder about the importance of window safety. A young child fell out of a window yesterday afternoon in Surrey's Sullivan Heights neighborhood. The child is 2 to 3 years old, and they fell from the 2nd floor window of a townhouse. The injuries are reportedly serious, but there's been no further update on the child's condition. Aside from paramedics, Surrey Fire and RCMP attended the accident scene. A strike by faculty at Capilano University has been suspended. Both sides are continuing talks to reach a resolution, but instructors have agreed to end their walkout for now. That means all normal operations will resume today, and students will be able to take their final exams. If the ongoing talks are unsuccessful, the strike could resume. Bottled water isn't going to be banned at Vancouver Parks and Recreation Centres. The Park Board voted last night on a potential ban to stop waste. Instead, commissioners decided to increase the amount of water fountains. They want to keep the bottles available to buy as an alternate to the sugary drinks on sale. One person is in custody on suspicion of murder following yesterday's fire in Richmond. The blaze on Corner Brook Crescent killed a 66-year-old woman and sent a 13-year-old boy to hospital, where he is now fighting for his life. The fire broke out at around 2 o'clock Monday morning at a duplex, with the suspect arrested shortly after. Police say the 2 victims are related, but a possible connection to the suspect is unclear. He did not live at that home.
I'm glad the authorities are on the scene and someone will deal with this. Hope it's an accident. We wouldn't want tragedy other than that.
He was arrested earlier today. They are attempting to find out more information. However, at this time, no charges have been laid, so I can't really speak too much about the person in custody.
There were initial reports the house served as a group home for children, but police have denied that. 2 people are dead after a huge fire at an abandoned warehouse on East Hastings Street in Vancouver. Their bodies were found about 3 meters, that is, from a window on the 2nd floor. 2 survivors who escaped by clinging to a window ledge said the victims were a mother and adult son who had been squatting in the building.
This building was boarded up, it was fenced, it was an abandoned building. We had no idea there was anyone in the building until after 2:15 this morning, when we arrived on scene to have people hanging out the window. At that point, there's no way of stopping that, the fully engulfed building.
Investigators haven't figured out what started the fire, but they say the building was being prepped for demolition and had a lot of debris inside. The identity of the victims has not yet been released. For more than a century, St. Paul's Hospital has stood on Burrard Street in downtown Vancouver, but instead of renovating this aging structure, a final decision has been made to move it. Providence Healthcare wants to build a brand new hospital less than 3 kilometers away. It'll be located on a vacant plot of land on Station Street near Main and Terminal, right next to Pacific Central train and bus station. The cost of building on the 7.5-hectare site is more than $1 billion. Providence has a $500 million funding commitment from the province, and it hopes to raise the other half by selling off the current hospital site.
The radiology department is located the equivalent of 2 city blocks away from the emergency department, and there's no renovation that will address that incongruity.
Christy Clark promised us a brand new hospital downtown Vancouver at St. Paul's. If her promise had been fulfilled, we would have it by now.
The new St. Paul's complex is also expected to include social housing units. There's also talk Mount St. Joseph's Hospital on Kingsway could be integrated into this new facility. Providence Healthcare hopes it can have the new St. Paul's up and running by the year 2022.